Well, hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of the Forex Market Preview. As you guys know, there was no video last week, it being Easter and all, but I wanted to get back with you today and talk with you a little bit about kind of identifying a trading strategy and kind of knowing what the market is doing and kind of just getting your ducks in a row. Because unfortunately, one of the biggest problems that traders have, and I've had this discussion, I can't count how many times with people about what they're doing wrong, and with the majority of the people spend their time worrying about systems, and they spend their time out there looking around and watching videos and going to webinars where people show them their system or their methodology. And don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with spending time trying to figure out what kind of what you want to do and how you want to trade and making sure that the system that you're using is viable. Those are all really important things to be paying attention to as a trader, because you certainly don't want to trade based on a system that's going to lose you money. The problem is most people don't really know whether the system that they have or the one that they're using makes them or loses them money. And more importantly is, even if they did know that, even if they had tested it and they found out that, oh yeah, and they knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that the thing made money if you followed the rules, most people just won't follow the rules. Far more people, if they spent far more time focusing on the psychology of it rather than the system part of it, I think they would do a lot better. Because everywhere I go, I just see people looking for the system. And again, you've got to find that, and somebody who offers that to you is not necessarily trying to scam you out of money. It's just simply a matter of they know that's the easiest ticket into into your good graces. And one of the things that we have tried to do is at Trade Empowered is to do really three things: to offer training, education, and systems and strategies. And these are what we call them tools for the toolbox, and then psychology, of course, being kind of the umbrella that wraps it all together. But these are tools for your toolkit. So you need the psychology, you need the system, you need the education. Each one of those pieces are things that you need. Now, you may need two and not the third. You may need all three. You may need only one. It doesn't really matter. The point is, until you have all three of them, you don't really have, one of those three a trader doesn't make, right? And so what we try to do is give you guys access to all of those. And when we start talking about this stuff, in the Forex Market Preview videos, in most of the stuff that I teach, I tend to teach what I do, which is pattern recognition, Fibonacci, and structure analysis. That's what I've always done. It's not what I've always done, but since I've managed to, to find any consistency in what I do, it's always been based around structure and Fibonacci analysis. But we also have trading systems, we have software, we have all kinds of other stuff for people who find that more appealing, because frankly, some people gravitate towards the analysis. They really like that piece of it. They like coming in, and the market is kind of like a jigsaw puzzle. It's something that they're a mystery they're trying to uncover. And other people are not like that at all. They come in and they look and they're just like, look, I just want to look at the EMA cross and a couple of other indicators, and when all those indicators line up, I want to buy or I want to sell. And I just want to know that, hey, if I do all those things consistently, that it's going to make me money. Now, on the making money part, we always tell people to go and test it for themselves. But in terms of choosing your particular poison, so to speak, it's really irrelevant. I mean, I don't care whether you trade using astrology or whether you trade using Fibonacci or whether you trade using, Donchian channels. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is, did you go back and did you test the strategy? Did you validate it and make sure that if you did it consistently over time that it would make you money? And if so, then you're doing the right thing. And so today, what I thought I would talk a little bit about is kind of trying to define what it is that you want to do. Because see, a lot of people, they've been through a lot of training, and they know about trend following, and they know about counter trend, and they know about structure analysis, and they know about indicators and oscillators. And you throw all that stuff on a chart, and all of a sudden a guy tries to do everything instead of having a good laid out plan that he uses on a consistent basis, doing the same thing over and over again. What he does is he looks at it and he says, oh, I see a breakout trade. Oh, I'm going to trade the breakout. And oh, I see a retracement. Oh, I'm at 382 retracement here. I bet it's a 382. Let me check it. I didn't check it before we started. Probably should have done that. Oh, yeah, 382 retracement. All right. I see a 382 retracement. Oh, okay, I'll go ahead and sell the 382. And you see all this stuff starts popping up. And instead of having a, a comprehensive plan to achieve a desired result, what he has is he's got a bunch of stuff rolling around in his brain housing group that he picks and chooses from based on what he sees on a chart. And so the first thing that we try and do is, or I try and do with a guy, is define, okay, what are you going to do here? Do you want to be a trend trader? Do you want to be a counter trend trader? What feels comfortable to you? Do you like, do you have the discipline to lose 7 out of every 10 trades and hold the winners long enough to make up the difference? Because if you look at this chart, we love seeing the big moves, right? These big moves are beautiful. We say to ourselves, oh man, wouldn't it be great if we could just get a hold of these big moves and we don't not mess around with all this garbage in the middle? The problem is the majority of the time, the market isn't doing that. The majority of the time, market's doing stuff like this. Right? This garbage. Garbage here and garbage down here, right? We scroll back and we can find a little bit of movement here, a little bit of garbage in here, garbage here. Right? Most of the time, the market is not making these gigantic upwards and downward moves. And so one of the things that people like to do, that the trend is your friend, all of this other stuff that you hear all the time, and that's absolutely true. The issue with that is markets are not in trend as much as they are in consolidation. And I'm not trying to convince any of you that you shouldn't be trend traders. That's not at all what I'm suggesting to you. What I am suggesting is you need to know the deficiency in your trading model. And one of the lines that you constantly will hear from people is they'll say, "Well, I've got this triad trading strategy, this Trinity trading strategy that makes money whether the market is in trend, whether it's bullish or bearish or in consolidation." And try as I may, and maybe I'm not all that smart. Maybe I'm just not all that crafty. But I have yet to be able to find a trading strategy that makes money when markets are bullish, when markets are bearish, and when markets are in consolidation. Every strategy is going to have drawbacks. Every strategy that you use is going to perform poorly in some market. So if you use a trend-following strategy, your strategy is going to do really well when the market breaks out and then follows through. It's going to do very poorly during the time when the market goes nowhere, whipsaws back and forth, never sees any follow-through. Vice versa, when you're dealing with a consolidation strategy, like the one I'm going to kind of show you here, it's not going to do well when the market is trending. We had a discussion in the war room this week in Syndicate because Akil had one of the worst weeks that, just he called it a week from hell, is what he said. And the fact was that none of the pattern formations that he was putting out ended up completing. He had some larger pattern formations that took hits, and a couple of them came right behind each other, and that takes a toll on you psychologically. You see, it doesn't matter what trading strategy you're using. There are going to be times when that strategy doesn't perform the way you want it to. Trend following systems not going to work well in consolidation. Consolidation strategies are not going to work well when the market is in expansion. You're going to continue to try. Counter trend systems are not going to work well when the market is in trend. The market's just going to keep blowing through and blowing through. What you've got to do is you've got to know that, hey, at the end of the day, I've tested my plan. I know my plan produces a profit. And as long as we are not getting way outside of what my historical testing shows me is acceptable in terms of maximum drawdown, in terms of maximum number of losing trades, as long as we're still in the right, in kind of the sweet spot there, I've just got to continue to trade my plan. And so what we've got here is we've got a situation, because we've got a very bearish market on pound yen. As you can see, big downward move, then a little bit of sideways action, then another downward leg, then a retracement, then another downward leg, and now we've hit a wee bit of consolidation. And the market is going to put in a bat pattern. Oh, I'm sorry, it could put in a bat pattern here. And if it does, it's going to present us a buying opportunity at this 886. Now let me draw it in for you so that you guys can see it. All right, oops. That's ugly. Let's try that again. Clicked it one too many times. All right. Comes down here, rally back up, back down to the 886, boom. So that's what it will look like. And the idea here is that the market is in consolidation. And guys, I'll tell you again, there are a lot of different ways that people teach this. The way I look at it, for me, it's strictly a matter of having something that is testable, verifiable, and repeatable. So I don't care about the mythical realm of markets and their harmonicities and all that. So I don't care about any of that. It doesn't matter to me. All that matters to me is if I use ratio A, B, C, and D over and over and over again, and I test that out, will that produce me an outcome that's favorable? Right? I don't care about the mysticism of it. I don't care about the mathematics of it. It doesn't matter to me. All that matters to me is, do I have something that fits into the if-then construct that we trade at Trade Empowered every day? If the market does this, then we do this. If the market does this, then we do this. If it does this, then we take action. Because you see, I don't know what the percentage is, what the likelihood is that the market, where it sits right now, will come down and hit an 886. I don't have any clue. I have no clue. But if the market has that 50% retracement followed by the 618, followed by the 886 completion, I can tell you in recent history what the likelihood is that this market is going to rally and hit a target. That is something that is testable, verifiable, and repeatable. And so when I look at stuff like this, any trading strategy that I'm going to put together is going to be built around this idea of if-then construct, and being able to create a statistical edge in the market. What is the probability that if I do this same thing over and over and over again, that I'm going to get a positive result? Now, again, what happened in the past is in the past. There's no possible way that we can tell whether the past is not going to be indicative of what we're going to see in the future, but it does give us a glimpse. It gives us an idea. Historical performance is never going to be the same as future performance. Exactly. But if we look back in time and we say, hey, over the last year or 2 years or 3 years, however long, if every single one of these that I saw we produced, by the end of the day, if I'd have traded all of them and traded during the times that I normally trade, this would have been the result. And we're pretty happy with that. And we might say, okay, what if the results were only half that good? Let's say over the last year, it produced 2,000 pips of profit. I'm just pulling a number out, right? It's 2,000 pips of profit. Well, okay, what if it was only 1,000 pips of profit? Would it still be worth my while to trade it? Again, those are only questions that you can answer. But at least you have the historical perspective. At least you can look back in time and say, okay, well, what if I only did half as good as what my historical performance said I would do? Because I'm human, and I'm kind of new at this trading thing, and, chances are I'm probably not going to do it right. I'm probably going to make some mistakes. There's going to be some emotion at play. There's going to be some bad decisions. I'm going to place a limit order when I should place a stop order. I'm going to do all kinds of things that are all screwed up because I'm really pretty new at this, if I'm being honest with myself in the dark with nobody looking. I really don't know what I'm doing. Historicals say 2,000, but what if it was just 1,000? Would I still be okay with it? I think for most people, because the last year has been nothing but loss after loss after loss for them, I think most people would say, man, if I was just in the green, screw 1,000 pips or 2,000 pips. If I could just end a year with more money than I started with, God, what a beautiful world that would be. Wouldn't that be a starting point? Because I don't think if you're here and you're not really in this for the long haul, if you're not really looking at this and saying, it may take me a couple of years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever it takes. It may take me a really big chunk of time to get proficient at this, and I'm willing to commit that time. I'm not going to just burn my money up. I'm not just going to waste thousands or tens of thousands of dollars in the school of hard knocks in the market, but I'm willing to devote the time to learn what I need to learn and to practice the skill. If you're not in that place, then you're really in the wrong place, because that's what I preach. I don't preach easy money. I don't preach get rich quick. One of the things that we decided that we wanted to do very early on when we started Trade Empowered, when I talked with Todd, my business partner, I said, I want to build a company. I want to build something real. I don't want to build something that's fly by night where it's one product after another product and the brand doesn't mean anything. It's only the product line. Because if you look at, and again, I don't want to talk bad about other people. If you look at other things in the market, a lot of times it's the product that everybody knows and you don't know anything about the brand behind it. There are some guys in the market that you know really well. So if you're in the options market, you may or may not know who John Carter is. But John Carter is a phenomenal options trader, right? John Carter has a name, he has a brand. And I said, I want to develop something real. I don't want it to just be about this product or that product. I want Trade Empowered to be something that's a real thing that we can use and that we can build and that we can gain trust in the marketplace using. And so from the very beginning, we didn't preach what a lot of other people in the industry were preaching, which was, hey, just buy my $97 EA and you'll make a ton of money. We said, no, this is going to be hard. It's going to take you a lot of time. And I want you to think about that message for a little bit. I mean, what am I really telling you here? I'm telling you, hey, if you come in here and you study with me, you spend some time with us, what we're going to do is it's going to take you a really long time. We'll teach you everything that we know, but there's no guarantees. Most of you will probably fail at it anyway. And, all we can do is teach you what we know. And if you work really hard at it for a really long time, you got a shot. I mean, is that not the worst sales pitch in the world? It really is. And I can remember having conversations in the office and saying, this is when we were trying to get things going. And we were trying to convince a world who believed that you could just turn on a MetaTrader EA and make millions of bucks, that it doesn't work like that. And I can remember talking about how hard the message was. It's like, man, we're selling we're selling hard work. Who wants to buy that? But it paid off. And I don't mean to make this whole Forex market preview video about me and about Trade Empowered, but I do want to express to you the reality of the situation that you're in. You're in one of the most competitive businesses in the world, and I know that most of you are sitting in your basement and you don't see anything else that's going on in the world around you, and the most interaction you get with other traders is on some chat forum somewhere where some guy's pretending to be something that he's not. What I want you to understand is the very best people in the world are in this market, the very best traders. They spend their life doing nothing but focusing on trading. And it's not about losing a $10,000 or $20,000 account for them. For them, it's, hey, if you're good, if you really do a good job, it can mean millions of dollars a year to you. If you do a bad job, you're out on the street. Those are the stakes that most of the people in this industry play in or play with. But here's the beautiful thing about it. As I've said before, the chart is really the great equalizer. It doesn't matter what that guy knows or what he thinks he knows. At the end of the day, everything that happens, every decision that gets made is displayed on the chart. If the market breaks into a new structure high, you get to see it. If more buyers and sellers are pressing the market higher, guess what? You see it. You don't need to know why. You just need to know that it's happening. And then you've got to have a trading strategy using, as I said, that if-then logic that lets you know, hey, if I see the setup, if A, B, C, D occur, I know what the percentage chance is that I'm going to be right if I place that trade. I know what it is. I don't need to know why the market is pressing down here. It doesn't matter to me. Hey, why if A, B, C, D all occur, is there a 58% chance that the market's going to hit target 1 or 55% chance? Doesn't matter. I don't care. All I care about is the fact that I've created a statistical probability of being right. And then I want to come into the market every day with discipline and exploit that opportunity. Because I know on the other side, somewhere in the world, is somebody who's really, really, really good at what they do. And they've got access to better information, more timely information than I do. They've been doing it longer than I've been doing it. And frankly, a lot of them are probably better than me at it. The only thing that gives me the edge is the strategy that I employ and the discipline that I use. Does that make sense? So guys, I don't care if you're selling the 382 here for the trend or whether you're buying up the bat formation here at the 886. I'll give a rip. Doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that you know what you're doing and why you're doing it, and that you have created a statistical edge, and then you can come into the market every single day and with discipline exploit that edge. And if that's not you, then you need to stop trading immediately. Get back into that demo account, close out those live accounts, get yourself back in a position of learning and education and practice and study until you can be at that place. That's how we create winners. That's how we take people who were losing money hand over fist at the beginning, and by the end are working for, professional prop trading firms. It's a focus on education. It's a focus on understanding your numbers and exploiting opportunity. So, guys, I'm way over on this. I know there was not a lot of insights here for next week. A lot of this stuff is just in consolidation, and it's kind of junk here. And so I just thought it would be a good time for us to come together and kind of have another conversation about where you're at with your trading. Because ultimately, guys, I can show you all the opportunities in the world, give you my opinion on what the market's going to look like next week, but you got to go out and do it. You got to go out and execute whatever trading plan you have. And the fact is, the more we talk to people, the more apparent it becomes that most people just don't have anything worth following. I want so badly for you to do the things that are going to give you the highest probability of being successful. And so that was my goal with today's Forex market preview, is just to once again explain to you what I think is necessary, what I think is going to be the most beneficial to you. But it's going to be up to you to execute. So best of luck to you this week. If you want to join me, of course, you can do so in the syndicate each and every day. We run through the markets. I place trades that you guys can follow along so you can kind of see how it works and understand some of the principles behind the strategies that we use. Akil does videos in the middle of the week kind of talking about what's happening. It's a pretty good time. So you can think about that. You can get a whole month for $1. Links underneath this video. Other than that, I will talk to you guys next week. Until then, good luck, good trading. I will talk to you then.